Hello, listeners. Welcome to yet another episode of Courage Talks. Today, my special guest is Sankari Sudhar. Sankari has a very interesting profile. While currently she is the CEO and founder of an extremely interesting startup called Overqualified Housewives, but she's basically an engineer and was lost in a technology world before she found her way towards entrepreneurship. So let's unravel the mysteries behind her venture and what prompted her to get here. Welcome, Sankari.
Thank you so much for having me here, Hetal, for in this Courage Talks.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think the reason why I was so keen to get you on this podcast was that the unusual transition that you made in your life, you can call it the Eureka moment or the Harajuku moment, but what prompted overqualified housewives to come into existence?
Okay, so I myself is an overqualified housewife. I was an overqualified housewife for a while, but I never knew that I would become a homemaker and stay at home and then wonder what is happening in the world. And basically, I'm an engineer by qualification, and I worked in IT for around 8+ years. Then I took a career break when I had to take care of my baby. I couldn't balance my professional and personal lives, and I decided to be a happy homemaker. But to my surprise, I couldn't be so happy staying at home within that four walls all the time. Social media doesn't make it easy as well, right? We can see a lot of people who are growing. We feel like, except myself, everybody else in this world, they are growing, moving to the next level, taking up the next promotion, traveling around the world. Whereas here I'm sitting in my nightwear with my small baby, wondering what to do next. And then I saw a lot of women who are like me, who are studying really well during their schools and colleges, and then somehow they are missing. So this theory is called theory of missing women in workplace. So many women enter into the workforce, but in the middle there is a leakage, a huge leakage in the pipeline, that so many are getting lost and they don't know how to go back to the same path. And so many are waiting for that opportunity wherein they can re-enter into the workforce and become financially independent. Of course, as you rightly mentioned, this epiphany, it will not happen in a day or two. So many months I was sitting in my home wondering what to do next. Will I ever fit in? Will I be ever able to become financially independent again? Why did I study really well? Why should I do all these things? What is happening in my life? All those questions were occupying my mind. But one day I decided to be the part of the solution than be a part of the problem, and decided to take my problem as a problem statement. And I saw a lot of women with the same kind of problems. So I decided to solve it. So that's how Overqualified Housewives was born.
So you decided to don the hat of a Sherlock Holmes and decide to solve the mystery of the missing woman and become part
Absolutely.
of the solution rather than being a part of a problem. So I do get the background. I do understand, what were the genesis of it. But was there a specific incident or a day when you decided this? And if there is something which triggered that, on the point of social media, I do understand that social media kind of creates that fear, but social media can actually be supportive as well, right? Because you can
Correct.
spend hours and hours, going through reels and watching movies on OTT, which a lot of women, unfortunately, or a lot of people, of course, not just women, end up doing that. And that kind of becomes sort of a comfort couch for them. They're like, oh, I don't have problem spending time because I have so much content to just browse and sit on the sofa and watch that, right? So how did you
Absolutely.
address this particular situation?
Okay. So, of course, I was wondering for a very long time, and I was looking, I don't know what is the actual solution, but in my position, I am a new mother. I'm not able to step out of my home to do a full-time work. I want to do something with flexibility, but it has to be a reliable opportunity. So, am I having the skills where I can find a flexible, remote, reliable work opportunity? I couldn't find a lot of options. Then I started talking to a lot of my friends whom I thought will be really successful in the later part of their life, were at home still wondering the same just like me. And that's when I was like, okay, so this is a problem. Then I started reading and came across a very interesting article in Business Standard, which said that India, a country with the highest number of overqualified housewives in the world.
Wow.
So many Indian women are studying, they are becoming graduates, Now we are all so open and we all focus on girl education, but when it comes to girl independence, financial independence, we are having a long way to go. And in India, only we have 100 million graduate women. And you know how many women are working in a white collar jobs? As per the data today, it is only 9.2%.
Oh man, that's quite low for sure.
Absolutely. So the problem is real. There is a leakage. Something is missing in this equation.
Hmm.
So I decided, okay, so let us stop complaining, start seeing and see whether this is a real problem and what might be the solution for this.
Interesting. So the podcast is titled Courage Talks, and the story behind this is, of course, my book Against All Odds, which demonstrated a lot of courage, which my father displayed in his regular life. I mean, he was no celebrity of any sort, but he encountered a lot of challenges in his life, and he addressed them with courage, right? And I'm sure you agree that it takes a lot of courage to become an entrepreneur, right? Don that hat and say, no,
Absolutely.
I'm not just going to sit at home. I'm actually going to become productive, right? So how did you go about creating this venture? I mean, the use case is very clear. You wanted to do something for women like you, but how did you go about the entire journey?
So once I decided to do this, like anybody else, I was just thinking, what if I don't have any experience in terms of entrepreneurship? I am going to be the first entrepreneur, and I don't know what is the next step. Then one fine day, my husband he pushed me, like, you are talking about this for a while. Why not we go and meet somebody who is building a website?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I was like, they were asking me, what are all the things you're looking for? How do you want this brand to be and everything? And then, okay, so the moment I went there to their office and I started talking about the vision of this company, I understood, okay, I have to step up. So far, I am so used to think small. I have to be different. I have to be the cheerleader, the champion for myself. The journey is not going to be easy because this is not a very small problem. It's a very big problem, a complex problem. So if I'm not courageous, if I'm not resilient, then nothing is going to work. So I decided, even now, I have the same kind of a mindset. I don't know whether this is going to be a huge success or it's going to be a terrible failure. Doesn't matter. The kind of person we are going to become in this process, me and my team, that's what this matters. Even if we create a very small impact, even if we can influence and impact few thousands of women, we'll be happy. So we
Hmm.
are in the path of it's okay if we fail,
Hmm.
but let's do this and let's create some impact.
So while you wanted to impact a few thousand people, your network boasts of about 34,000 women across 700 businesses. So how did you go about growing the community? What was the viral factor which led to such a growth in such a
Okay.
short time period?
Okay. I think it's because of the vision. This vision is so big and so clear that so many people could resonate with this. They could see as a career restarter myself, I know the pain point firsthand. So that gave me a competitive edge, I would say. And LinkedIn is a powerful tool. For every
Hmm.
business owner, I have to tell this because many of us, we are not using LinkedIn very well, right? So the moment I decided to do something with my life after becoming a mother, I decided to build my LinkedIn profile. I decided to post regularly. I decided to voice out whatever I know and whatever my values, the things I learned and everything. So that helped me to build a good community, a good following, not a great following. The number was very less initially. And then the moment I decided to build something like Overqualified Housewife, I could see, so many people, 20 people who have good big personal brands in LinkedIn. They came forward and they told that, okay, I will put a post for you. Okay, I'll post about this vision. This is a very important cause. Let us support you.
Hmm.
And because of them, we were able to get a very good traction. Okay, we could
Hmm.
see a lot of people registering, women registering in our platform. So within the first 30 days itself, around 600 women registered. So that gave me the initial pull. Okay, something is happening. People are believing. And
Hmm.
then I started talking about the real pain point, started talking to each and every woman who have registered with us. We know their story. We know where they come from, what
Hmm.
happened, what's the reason of their career break, what is that they find it very difficult to restart, because there are so many returnship programs, Hetal, in the corporate world.
Hmm.
Big companies, MNCs are having returnship programs for career restarters, but something is missing again. So what is that? Why they couldn't pursue that kind of a program and why they have registered with us? What are
Hmm.
they actually looking for? So
Hmm.
we spoke to every single woman who registered with us. In fact, in the initial days, we were talking to almost 6,000, 7,000 women on a daily basis. Every day, our team takes calls and we know what is the pain point. Then we got to know it is not just opportunity gap. It is also about skill gap. It is also about cultural gap.
Hmm.
So I started documenting my journey and I started talking about whatever the learnings we got through these women's journey.
Hmm.
And because of that, we were able to get good traction. People could resonate more, and several media came to us and they covered our story. So far, we haven't spent even a single penny in marketing.
Wow.
Every single business, every single woman, they reached out to us.
Hmm.
So that's the thing. So if we can truly understand the pain point of our
Yeah.
customer and if
Hmm.
we can try to solve it, I think word of mouth is the best marketing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. You mentioned about the 20 odd women influencers who had a wide coverage. They decided to post for you. You mentioned about organizations which had a clear return back policy in place for working professionals. But at the same time, these women are not picking up those programs. So there,
Absolutely.
you saw kind of a either a communication gap or a skill mismatch in terms of the kind of profile with these organizations are expecting versus the kind of profiles which are available. But what strikes out as the most remarkable part, which I wanted to be the base for my next question, is that you could have done this as more like a social media initiative and like a social cause and a just cause. But I mean, the way it looked like you're making a dhanda out of it, right? You're making a business out of it, right? So
Yes.
what prompted you not just to be like a sloganeer or a champion for a woman, and instead try and see if you could actually make a business for yourself out of it, right? So where did
Mhm.
that happen? How did you move from just a social cost to something which could actually turn out to be a profitable venture at some point of time?
Absolutely. So I have to mention this here. So those 20 people I mentioned, they are both men and women.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, so both of them supported us because I strongly feel that we have to create as many allies as possible. We need
Yeah.
more people supporting
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
kind of a vision.
Huh.
And thank you so much for asking this question because, yes, of course, we could have said that, okay, let us form an NGO or let us build a
Exactly.
community
Yeah.
around it and let us just talk about it. But
Yeah.
somehow I feel that if we cannot create impact, real impact, that there is no use of doing something like this. Though there are so many communities and people who are talking about, women becoming financially independent, not many people are talking about the real impact which is created in the grassroots. So that's where we thought, okay, let us build a proper startup. Let us build results. Let us create results. Let us show the numbers. Correct. So that's how we started. So we just wanted to first test the waters before we do anything. We created a basic website, a basic database. That's just a proof of concept to see how people are reacting and what they are actually expecting. Then we got to know that though there are so many platforms that provides flexible opportunities. Let's say there are so many freelancing platforms. At the same time, there are so many professional platforms which provides work. Correct. And of course, there are so many restarter programs from corporates as well. Then we got to know that many women are not able to go back to the workforce because they need more flexibility. They cannot operate, or they find it very difficult to operate with a 10 to 7 plan or a 9 to 6 plan. Because if they have to go about it, if they have to go to an office and work every day, they need a support system at home, which many of the women they don't have. Or at least if they are taking a break, let's say that in most common cases, if a woman is taking career break, she is expected to be at home at least till the kid turns 6. That is
Hmm.
until the kid joins the first standard or something like that. So if she's taking a career break of 6 years, then that break, every single organization questions why there is a break for 6 years. Nobody can see like what is the work she has done, right? So
Hmm.
that's the main reason why women want more flexible work opportunities. And that's the reason we thought, okay, let us focus on giving opportunities plus skill development and show numbers rather than just talking about the idea as such.
So of course you could have been happy just doing the hard work of connecting the enterprises with the available candidates, the women candidates. Why did you think it's so important for you to make business out of it?
Okay. So of course I am restarting something and I want to do something
Hmm.
more. So and
Okay.
if I am doing it, if I need to have the complete ownership,
Yeah.
then I have to take it as a business.
Yeah.
Else
Yeah.
it is just kind of a passion project. As you have mentioned, it will be just a passion project. But the moment we reached, those 600 women in the first month, and then within a year we were able to reach 10,000.
Hmm.
And then we could clearly see that, okay, so this is turning serious
Got it.
and it is no more a passion project. It has never been a passion project for me, actually, from day one.
Yeah. So every startup has its share of failures, has its share of founder, has its share of down moments. So what were those failure or down moments like for you so far?
Okay. There will be many days. Few days it will be, you'll be all pumped up, all aligned with the vision, and everything happens right thing at the right time, right people, and everything. But there are so many occurrences. One such thing is initially when we started, I thought, okay, I don't have a reliable work opportunity, a flexible work opportunity. I couldn't find a lot of such opportunities. So that's why I have built this platform. So this is what many women want. That was my thought process. And we started connecting with a lot of businesses and we could create a lot of opportunities. But even then we couldn't fill that positions. Then we were wondering, okay, these are amazing opportunities. These are amazing job roles. Why are we
Hmm.
finding it difficult to fill these positions? Then we got to know that it is a skill gap as well. So though there are several good opportunities, if we have to fill those positions, that person has to have that skill. So
Hmm.
what is happening there? So then what to do? Again, a big question mark.
Hmm.
And then, even though we try hard to give them the right skill and then give them the right opportunity, cultural aspect itself, right? Not all families are supportive when a woman decides to restart.
Hmm.
So she is expected to do everything. The house must be on point, the child must behave well, the kid must do well in school. At the same time, she has to work.
Yeah.
Nothing should collapse, nothing, everything should be on point. And if she is trying to pull everything and keep it all together,
Hmm.
she is finding it very hard to run in the long run and she is quitting again. There
Hmm.
are so many studies that says that a career restarter go back and quit within the first 18 months in
Oh.
several cases.
Hmm.
So if we have to stop that number happened to us as well. So again, we are disappointing businesses, right? So
Yeah.
somehow we have to figure the equation again. We have to show, then we figured out we have to talk a lot about the women who are getting opportunities, their stories,
Hmm.
so that the other women who are getting opportunities or who are here to take opportunities will get inspired, not with our words or our post, from the stories of these women who could restart. So
Yeah.
we started doing that. So there are so many days where I felt that okay, this is not going to go far, for a very long time. This is a very complex problem. Now also reiterate the same thing. It is not an easy problem at all. It has so many layers.
Yeah.
But when I receive a message from a woman who says like, hey, this is the reason, you are the reason, or overqualified housewives helped me do this.
Hmm.
That one message is enough for me and our team to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, that instance that you talked about where, even though women come back to work after a break, it might not be the last break and they might take a break again.
Yes.
So, does your organization encourage the same woman to continue, or you provide the organization with another alternative candidate? How does that work?
Yes, we do give alternate candidates. But the thing is, in our platform, we address this issue when it began. So most of the cases, the number, it talks about women who are rejoining the work from office opportunity, and then she's quitting
Mm-hmm.
because there is not much there. All their colleagues, the moment she rejoins,
Mm-hmm.
in order to settle, that itself takes some time. Not all can understand that she has to, go to home and then attend that meeting. Many question why are you giving this kind of a flexibility? Why can't I go home and then connect? All those
Yeah.
questions, right? No, it's not so welcoming. And also,
Ah.
she always finds that she has to do everything. She has to prove herself every single day. All those
Mm.
things happen. But when it comes to a remote working opportunity, wherein even businesses understand that there has to be flexibility in place,
Mm.
we have to do is tell her the vision of the business.
Mm.
Okay, and then give her the ownership, expect accountability with flexibility.
Yeah.
So that's when we could see, we have highest retention actually. We
Mm-hmm.
have very good retention. 95% of women who rejoined through us are still in the workforce in the last 2.5 years. So
Wow.
that's how we could see the numbers, working for us. And we advise our businesses as, to do the same as well, to give the vision.
That's a phenomenal number, to be honest. And you mentioned about the fact that there are different types of job, part time, full time. There are different size of organizations as well. So, do you draw up kind of a profile of the kind of companies that you would want to get on board based on the kind of candidates you have, or it's totally random, or it's grown over a period of time? How's the transition journey been for you from day one to where you are today?
Okay. So initially, we couldn't exactly understand who is our, what is our ideal customer profile, right? So I understood that, okay, probably startups and SMBs will be much more open-minded. So that's what the numbers said so far for flexible work opportunities. That's what we believed. And for us, that's the number that has worked. Yes, of course, we have served a couple of MNCs, but startups who are growing and SMBs are much more open-minded when they are hiring career restarters, and they're much more open-minded to give flexible work, and they are much more open-minded to train people, take them and train them until and unless they stay with them for a while.
Hmm.
So initially it was just a fluke, and then we could clearly see who are our customers. So now we know our ideal customer.
Very interesting. So, startup journey and entrepreneurship is a lot more about resilience, and and displaying resilience is, of course, another form of courage. So, what were the bottlenecks that you faced? What are the hurdles that you came across? If you could cite some examples, and what turned out to be the point where you really got tested and you came out stronger out of that.
Okay. So when I started, my son was only 15 months old. And that was the first time I'm keeping a nanny because I don't have my mother-in-law staying with us. So when I had to hire an external help, I had so many doubts, so many insecurities, like how she's going to handle my small baby. And then even now the same thing happened, right? At times we cannot predict children. They will be like one moment they'll be fine, and other moment they'll be, knocking the door and crying and the complete meltdown. It happened now as well in the middle of the meeting. And we cannot do anything for that. Initial days, I used to feel so guilty that I had to make my kid go through all these things, right? I'm taking a meeting with a client and he's crying. I'm leaving him. I'm not answering him. I'm not doing anything for him. But here I'm handling a client. So those things, the mom guilt, there is a term called mom guilt. That was one one important thing which I had to overcome. Now I know the acceptance. Just now I handled him. I told him, I have to take this meeting. You be calm. I'll be back in another 30 minutes or so. So now
Hmm.
I know I should not feel guilty for pursuing my dreams. I should not feel guilty for taking ownership in what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Because if I feel guilty, then I'm teaching my child to feel guilty for the kind of work he'll be
Yeah.
doing in the future. And the second thing is imposter syndrome. Whatever we do, whatever, whenever we get, of course, it is not just about getting a recognition or something, but it is so important to acknowledge the small wins. we get through this journey, right? That's
Yeah.
what will make us, resilient as well. So we have to go through. The path is not easy. Entrepreneurship is definitely not easy. So many days wherein I had zero clue of what to do next.
Hmm.
I take my pen and paper, try to find a way, right? Talk.
Yeah.
But the vision is big. So I have to become that person, as I mentioned before. So somehow this has to be done. It's okay if I go through all these ups and downs. Life happens in the middle. It will not leave us as we are building something important. No. So
Yeah.
somehow we have to be resilient and take some, be happy for the small wins as well.
Yeah.
Many women find it difficult, Heather. They find it really hard when they have to acknowledge their own credit or when they have to acknowledge their own journey. They feel that they haven't done anything.
Hmm.
They always undervalue and they don't take credit for their own work.
Hmm. That's
So
interesting.
these two things were, and also third thing is, thinking big.
Hmm.
Again, that was a problem because if I think big, then I felt like I am being selfish, which means if I think big, I have to go extra mile. I have to do a lot more things, which might affect my family, right?
Hmm.
I may have to sacrifice my time with my family, or
Yeah.
I might have to sacrifice so many other things.
Yeah.
So, am I punishing my family because I'm having such a big dream? Am I
Right.
even allowed to dream big?
Yeah.
That was another question. But then, yeah, it is for collective good. So
Hmm.
if I cannot dream that for myself, and if I'm not giving myself that right to dream big, how can I expect my son to do the same, right? So my son or daughter, they have to follow the same path through, too. I feel like I have to be an example for them.
Right to think big. You would have come across candidate in the network who must have been far much more older than you, and that might make it more difficult for you to be able to visualize that scenario. And how did you address that situation to be able to address women at different age brackets, women who might be in a phase in their journey which you have not yet encountered? How are you able to have that conversation with them? And if there are any such tough conversation that you recollect, and how did you address that?
Absolutely. Because, yeah, we are handling women from 23 years to even 65 years. So it is definitely not easy to. I have seen so many women who have got so much accolades, who have done great things in their career and then trying to figure out a path. So instead of just advising them or instead of just trying to solve the problem for them, we have to think from their shoes. We
Hmm.
have to make them understand that we can truly understand their pain. If we can connect with them in that level, I think that they can understand and realize where we are coming from, even if we give some kind of a suggestion or something like that. And one such example is we helped a 63-year-old woman.
Hmm.
So she took a career break after her child, got into college.
Wow.
So far, she was doing everything that was expected, and she didn't take any kind of a maternity leave or anything. That time I think it was just 3 months. She worked in UAE as well. She
Hmm.
traveled alone and worked, but somehow on the way, she felt that it was more about her, right? She
Hmm.
started feeling that she became very selfish and all those, and then she decided to give her life for her kids, and then stayed with them for a while, and then decided to restart after 10 years when
Hmm.
she was 63.
Wow.
And we were able to find an opportunity for her. It was not easy, of course. Just imagine business is giving opportunity to a 63-year-old. But
Yeah.
the one thing I loved is she was open to learn.
Hmm.
She knew that so many things had changed in that 10 years when she was missing. And she
Yeah.
was ready to upskill herself. And she was
Mhm.
ready to adapt to whatever that is happening in this new technology, this world. And
Yeah.
that makes her the young mind. She was, she's such a warrior, and she is much more open-minded and modern than many of the young minds I have seen in this journey.
Very interesting. No, to get someone get back on the career track at 63 after 10 years of break, and considering the way the world moves so fast nowadays, 10 years is definitely a long time. The other thing which came to my mind, which you might have wanted to address, was underemployment, right? People getting jobs or getting opportunities which is far below their level of aptitude or excellence because of what they might have done in their career before they took that break. Do people typically say a flat no to this? Do they immediately agree to this, or is there a lot of convincing that you and your team need to do to tell them that take this up and not wait for even better opportunity later?
Yeah. I think it has to be at this point of time, we have to work on bringing a lot of opportunities to women. The priority is that. So we have to help them restart somehow. But we don't say yes to every single opportunity as also. We make sure that it is decent. We make sure that it can be doable because in the initial days when we started, there was one company which asked for a content writer who has to write 30 blogs for 3,000 rupees. They were ready to pay 3,000 rupees for 30 blogs
Wow.
in a month. And that was so in the initial days. And even the content writer was okay to do that, the one whom we found. But then we said no because it is not right.
Hmm.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there were so many opportunities wherein we ourselves say no when it is not, when they try to exploit people.
Hmm.
Correct. When there is a chance, there is a difference. And when there is a chance for growth,
Hmm.
when they can learn a lot in that
Yeah.
particular journey, in that
Yeah.
particular company, even if they have to take pay cut to an extent, that's okay.
Hmm.
But if they have to make themselves get exploited and
Yeah.
then do something or the other, I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good point that you mentioned. And the fact that though there might be instances of underemployment, it's not necessary to reject purely because of the kind of work and the mismatch between what they're being paid versus what the work they need to do. Because a lot
Absolutely.
of these cases, correct me if I'm wrong, would have been instances where the need to earn money might have not have been the major drive why they signed up on your portal. It
Yes,
was just to stay engaged and stay active, because if the financial pressure was that heavy, they might be already engaged in an underemployed
correct,
position in work, and might not have thought about bothering to reach
correct,
out to.
correct. What they need is identity.
Mhm.
That's why they can come to us.
Yeah.
For most of the cases, in most of the cases, their husbands will be making a decent money. That's why they
Mm.
were able to stay at home for a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the number one priority is identity, and they want to reclaim themselves and they want to feel useful. Even in one such cases is we helped her to make. She had a master's in engineering. She
Mm.
did master's in engineering, and she worked as a lecturer for around
Mhm.
8 years, and then she took a career break for 6 years.
Mhm.
This was in the initial days when in 2022,
Yeah.
and we gave her an opportunity for preparing question papers.
Hmm.
Okay, so one such company came to us, and in that gig, she made 400 rupees. And I felt so low
Hmm.
that she was only be able to make 400 rupees. And we made, I think, around 50 rupees or so. Okay. And I felt really bad. But then she said, after 6 years, this is the first money I'm making, Shankari. And I feel so good. This 400 is mine, and I can buy something for my kid with my own money. And this is
Yeah.
a beginning. From here, I will build.
Yeah. Yeah.
This gave me a hope.
Hmm.
So that's when I understood it's not about the amount of money they make. Even if we give 1 lakh rupees, the kind of approach, the kind of mindset they have, that's what matters. Then later we were able to give a very nice opportunity to her in the
Hmm.
later stages. But
Yeah.
initially it was just 400 rupees. But
Hmm.
she was ready to take it up. She was ready to deliver on time. She did a really good job and she was
Hmm.
grateful.
Wow. No, that's a very inspiring story. And you're right. I think sometimes candidates might be okay with a small amount because that amount is like a big start from
Correct.
after a long gap. And even if the amount is not much, the fact that they're coming from a position of strength where, they're not restarting because of money, but They don't want to be grossly undervalued by doing something very for free as well, but they want to start building up their
Absolutely.
expertise base in that space and might be okay with a small amount as well. The next one is going to be a little bit tough one. I would want you
Mm-hmm.
to call out 5 skills that where women are distinctly stronger and those skills have an application in the workspace. If you could think of few of them, which could really be like a guiding point in terms of, from a fitment perspective, why should that organization consider the candidates that you're bringing up versus anyone else they might have considered hiring.
Okay. So the first thing is hunger.
Mhm.
They are very hungry. They want to prove, not
And they've
just to
not
the
had
world,
a
but
meal for a very long time.
yeah, I would say that, there is a story also in that regard, but yeah, that's a very important factor,
Mhm.
hunger.
Yeah.
So they want to prove it to themselves and also to the world that they can, do well. So that is first thing. Second thing is multitasking.
Mhm.
Many businesses they shy away from hiring mothers because they think that they have too many responsibilities. But I
Yeah.
argue that that is the main reason why we have to hire them, because
Mhm.
as they have so many responsibilities, they know what to do and when to do, and somehow they get the things done. So
Mhm.
if a person has no responsibilities at all, then the chances of them finishing up a work is very low than the one who has more responsibilities. This we
Right.
have seen time and time again. And third thing is adaptability. They can adapt very easily. They can learn very fast. And the fourth thing is ownership. If
Mhm.
we can make them understand that they are an integral part of this organization and the kind of work which they are doing is directly connected to the vision of the company, or how they are important to the organization, somehow it is not just about ticking the list of jobs, right? We cannot be just a taskmaster. Okay, to get most from my team, that's how I get work done. I don't, ask them. I don't micromanage them. They all work from home. And what I do is, so if you do this, this is what is happening to our organization. This is how we can grow when you
Mhm.
can do this right. And I
Right.
believe that you can do it well. So I give them the task and I expect accountability from them. So that is very important. And then the final thing is, I would say that it's empathy.
Hmm. Interesting.
So women, they are wired in a way that they're very easy when it comes to, they can think for collective good very easily. This I have seen again. My team, again, all credits to them. Whenever they connect with a career restarter, whenever they talk to them, they can understand the pain point firsthand because they have gone through the same journey, and
Mhm.
they think about the collective good very easily. It comes for them naturally. And
Hmm.
that's such an important leadership skill which one possesses, right? Empathy.
Very interesting. No, those are good set of points, and I do agree that there's a distinct advantage which these women bring, especially the ones who have had taken a break, had the qualification, but had to take the break, and they're coming back.
Yes.
Instance like hunger and multitasking and empathy and adaptability are definitely interesting elements. Courage is not always about picking up something which looks tough. Courage is also about letting go something which might sound very obvious and very enticing and exciting to start with. Would you be able to talk of one particular example of a candidate who was very keen to be part of the platform and you said for whatever reason it's not going to work out? And also one example of an organization which was very keen to bring up potential opportunities and for whatever reason you had to say no.
Again, we see a lot of instances wherein people register with us, but it is an impulse, just like impulse buying, it is
Hmm.
impulsive registering. Okay, so they would have had some fight with their husband and they come here and then they register because they want to be financially independent. But that energy, no, it will not stay for a very long time, right? People
Yeah.
expect that when they register, the moment they register, they have to be, given an opportunity. That doesn't, it doesn't work that way. We should
Hmm.
showcase what we are capable of. We should showcase our skills and how we can fit in. So
Yeah.
only then they can be considered. So
Hmm.
many people think that The moment we register, the moment we upload our resume, everything will be taken care of. That cannot be worked out in any platform for that matter. So that
Hmm.
was very hard for us initially to make people understand that they have to go extra mile. They have to do some, yes, of course, they have had worked before, but the kind of work they had done before has nothing to do with the kind of work they are going to do now because they had taken 7 or 8 years of career break. So without a proper upskilling, they have
Yeah.
to do something from their end. They have to put in their time, energy, effort, and money to
Hmm.
learn, to invest on themselves in order to figure out an opportunity. So that is one thing. And in terms of businesses, so many businesses reached out to us wherein they were giving us reselling opportunity. They want our women to post, they will give us pictures and then our women has to post these pictures in their WhatsApp and
Okay.
sell products for them.
Hmm.
And then data entry is another such opportunity.
Recalling,
Yeah,
telemarketing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we said we don't do all those in our
Hmm.
platform. We said strictly no because one such example is she has done her CA and now she told one of her employees that she's ready to do even telecalling job because she want to restart. So many people are in that kind of a dire need that they want to somehow, graduating and finishing CA is not easy at all. But now she's ready to do even telecalling or customer service just because she wants money. So we have said no to so many opportunities from businesses if they don't value the skills of our women. If
Yeah.
they just use us just for the sake of, the numbers,
Hmm.
then, we said no.
Yeah.
And we are
Yeah.
still saying no to such opportunities.
Yeah. So I think the word or qualified is pretty important overall from your business
Yes,
essence perspective. The fact that on paper they are qualified enough, I would say, rather than saying
yes,
overqualified, to be
yeah.
considering jobs which justify their work experience in the past as well. I'm not too sure, but the other category could be women who have gone through a divorce and
Mm-hmm.
might not have conceptualized being a full-time working full-time ever
Mm-hmm.
before the divorce happened, and now they want to like go all out and really stand up on their feet and reinvent themselves or rediscover themselves. Have you had such instances as well, and is that an area or a segment which you have tried to address from supporting
Okay,
perspective?
okay. So we haven't specifically focused on that segment, but we, in our journey, we were able to help such people also,
Hmm.
widows, people who have separated, people who have gone through, who have been in such toxic relationships and
Yeah.
abuse and so on and so forth. So somehow they gathered that energy and that strength and they decided to restart. So we had helped them before, but as a category or as a differentiator or something like that, we haven't done so far. Like we haven't specifically looked into that category and served. We are
Yeah.
serving women who are ready to step up for themselves. So that's the case.
Got it. Got it. Do you have some kind of a 5-year goal, a vision, or a mission which is driving you? And if that's the case, then what it is?
So of course, to address this problem at scale, that's the vision. Currently, yes, though it is just 2.5 years since we have started, we were able to cover women across India and even across globe. Women from Indian origin, so many women have registered with us because they don't have the work, visa or something like that where they can work, right? But they would have worked here in India
Yeah.
because of their husband's work. They have migrated there and they want to work again. So now we have decided not to have this platform only for India. So we want to take it global. So that will happen in the next 5 years for sure. And we want to create a lot of stories.
Hmm.
Correct. So even now, career break is looked down, and people think that if there is a career break in a resume, they are getting rejected because of that career break. But if you go and see the reason, they have done one of the most important works in the entire world. So taking
Hmm.
care of the child, nurturing them, it's a very important work of a mother. And if we are punishing, if we are giving a penalty for a mother, just because she is doing an important work which she has to do, then that's not okay. So
Got
we want to normalize career
it.
break, and we want to normalize, people seeing women for their capability, not for the kind of break or judging them because of that break.
If you had to evaluate a scenario where Infosys calls you and says, we want you to come back, and assuming they give you a handsome
Mhm.
pay package, would you be willing to take that?
No, I will not. I will not. I cannot work for 70 hours, yeah.
Very interesting. So now Mr. Narayanuti is going to regret saying that. Huh? Okay, now for some rapid fire. One book which has inspired you a lot.
How to
Yeah.
Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
A podcast which you quote and cite very often.
Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. I listen to him every day. So I feel that it is so powerful, the podcast. Yeah.
A quote that you cite the most.
So the real measure of success is in how many people got impacted or how many people were able to become better as you have lived in this world. So I want to create such kind of an impact. I don't want to be selfish and be available only for my family. I want to do much more. So that's the quote.
Very interesting. A leader, a woman leader whom you look up at as an idol.
Okay, I don't have any idol as such, but I like Michelle Obama and yeah, of course, Indra Nooyi and so many powerful leaders are there.
Anyone in your personal life who you idolize?
My mother,
Great.
she didn't finish her fifth standard. But she's the one who always say that you have to be financially independent, you have to make your own money because she made her own money. Like whatever jewels I had for my marriage, right? We bought all those jewels with her money because she used to stitch clothes sitting at home. I have never seen her asking money from my dad, like, hey, give me some money or something like that. She was the one who used to give money to my dad, though my dad used to be self employed. Whenever there is some scarcity, he comes to her, a person who didn't even finish primary education, who were able to make money sitting at home, who knows only Tamil, who have never been in a flight or who have never stepped out of South India, was able to do all those. And she was very clear. She's very clear with her thoughts, and she can easily learn, technology as well. So I would say that she's the one. I want to be like her, very strong.
Very interesting. Last question. One thing about you that most people might not know. Something that you want to reveal on this podcast.
I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer and I want to pursue my dance again, but still something is stopping it because as I'm juggling so many things, right? Something in me is still telling me that I have to pursue it again. But yeah, I hope that I'll do it soon. I love
Very
dance. Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. So I'm done with my set of questions. Thank you very much for sparing your time. It's very inspiring to see that you've not only taken this up as a objective for yourself, but an inspiration for thousands of other women who might be finding themselves in a situation very similar to yours. All the very best, and hope you touch a million women soon, and more importantly, you're able to find a million jobs for them as well, which is more important.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hetal Sonpal, for having me here. Means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.